नमस्कार, good day. आज in this session we are going to cover troubleshooting on a mechanical ventilator. In the previous videos we have seen initiation, monitoring and non-invasive ventilation. Now a ventilator is a complex piece of equipment and attached to the patient ventilator system can give rise to problems. So two common problems which may arise when a patient is being invasively mechanical ventilated are going to be tackled in this video. So for the first troubleshooting part, I have got a case scenario for you. So let me show you the case scenario. A 70-year-old with bilateral pneumonia, something like our COVID-19, with a past history of chronic obstructive airways disease, is ventilated in assist control mode with a tidal volume of 500, respiratory rate of 20, I ratio of 1:2, and on the machine the high airway alarm begins to sound. So we are going to see what the significance of a high airway alarm is and how we are going to manage it. So I am just making the setting on the ventilator. It is our same CV200 ventilator which we have been using for the other sessions also. And now patient you can see on volume control, respirator of 20, I ratio of 1:2, okay, and then PEEP is 5, trigger is 2, pressure limit is 40, and now I am going to start. So can you see what's happening on the ventilator? You can see this top panel which is red in color. It is beginning to flash, and on that you can see that it is giving an alarm of the high inspiratory airway pressure. Now this high inspiratory airway pressure alarm can be potentially life-threatening. So what we are going to discuss is how to troubleshoot a high inspiratory airway pressure. So whenever you find something going wrong on the ventilator, the first thing to do is always to look at the patient. Now when you look at the patient, you look at the pulse, the blood pressure, see how the oxygen saturation is. If you find that the pulse and blood pressure are unstable, or if you find that the oxygen saturation is dropped, it means that this patient is unstable. And for an unstable patient where the high airway pressure alarm sounds, the first thing to do is to take the ambu bag which is attached to oxygen, give oxygen and attach this to the patient. So by doing this, what I have done is I have separated the patient from the ventilator and I have begun to use the ambu bag. So with the ambu bag I can comfortably ventilate the patient. Now when I begin to ventilate the patient, if I find that it is very tight, the ambu bag, that means that there is some problem in the ventilatory circuit. If there is a problem in the ventilatory circuit, then that ventilatory circuit problem is going to be related from the point where the ambu bag is attached forward. There could be a block in the endotracheal tube. The patient could be biting the tube. The tube may have gone into one side of the lung, and since you are ventilating only one lung, the pressure is very tight. So these are the problems that may be associated with the tube, and these are very likely things for a high airway pressure alarm. Of course, apart from the airway related problems which lead to a high airway pressure alarm, there are also conditions within the lung that reduce the compliance of the lung. Now, compliance of the lung may be reduced if there is a collapse, or if there is a pneumothorax, or if bronchospasm has developed. For that, what one does is auscultates. Once you auscultate, you will find if breath sounds are absent on one side, then this could be either a pneumothorax or a collapse. You percuss. If the note is tympanic, then it is pneumothorax. If the note is dull, it could be a collapse or a pleural effusion. If you find that the tube is well centrally placed and the breath sounds are equal, but you've got a severe bronchospasm, it means very likely that there are a lot of secretions. In cases like this, then you may need to perform suction. After suction, if things clear out, then the problem was secretions which were leading to the high airway pressure alarm. If after suction it does not get cleared, then you know that bronchospasm could be a problem, and then you may want to try nebulization on the ventilator. So these are the things that you will need to look for when the high airway pressure alarm sounds. To summarize then, let me just show you how you manage a high airway pressure alarm. In this flow chart, you can see we started off with bag mask ventilation and we saw whether the bag mask ventilation was difficult or not. If the bag mask ventilation is difficult, then the first thing to do is to pass a suction catheter down the endotracheal tube and suck out the sputum. After you suck out the sputum, if the resistance continues, it could be a partially blocked tube, then you need to change the endotracheal tube. If the problem is resolved, you can resume mechanical ventilation. If there is no resistance, you have found that resistance is not there, then you check for auscultation with a wheeze. If a wheeze is present, it could be bronchospasm or pulmonary edema, for which then you will need to give either nebulization or diuretics. If you find that there are unilateral breath sounds, yes, then it could be that the tube has gone into one side, endobronchial intubation. It could be a unilateral parenchymal or pleural disease like collapse or pleural effusion or pneumothorax. If there is bilateral pleural parenchymal or chest wall disease, or it could be because of raised abdominal pressure if the breath sounds are equal. So these are the things that you will need to troubleshoot when the patient has become unstable and bag mask ventilation is difficult. So instability signs, brady or extreme tachycardia, severe hypertension or severe hypotension, and saturation not being felt. In such situations, you will have to take a bag mask. Now after you do the bag mask ventilation, if you find that bag mask ventilation is easy, there is no problem, then it means that you need to troubleshoot the machine or the tubing. You need to check the tubing and filters. Sometimes what may happen is that filter may have been in place for 2-3 days. The filter has got clogged with secretions. You may need to change the filter. The tubing may have got kinked somewhere, or there may be a block somewhere in the tubing of the ventilator circuit. You then need to check the relevant settings on the ventilator, check the alarm limits, and if all these things don't work, then you may need to replace the ventilator. Okay, so that's about how a high airway pressure alarm is troubleshooted. I'm now just going to show you on the ventilator what problem is arising. So you can see here that the high pressure alarm is sounding, and along with that the low ventilation problem is sounding. So now what has happened is my assistant is taking care of the patient. He's put the patient on an ambu bag with oxygen. Now I'm going to troubleshoot the alarm. So what can I see here? I can see the low minute ventilation and tidal volume is not being delivered. My pressure limit is set at 40. Now this patient has chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. It is possible that his airway pressures are much higher than this. So I may need to increase the pressure limit alarm, and that's what I will do to see if the patient begins ventilating again. At the same time, remember, I have already troubleshooted the patient. So I have increased this to 70, you can see. And I'm going to reset the alarm and see if I am able to restart the ventilator. As you can see, now I am able to ventilate the patient better, but still I am not able to reach the tidal volume that is set. It is showing me here 500 and 494, so I am able to set it. You can see on the screen that the pressures have gone above 40. The peak pressure you can see is almost 50, and you can see that the plateau pressure is 30. Okay, when there is a large difference between the P plat and the peak pressure and the plateau pressure, there is a large difference, then it indicates that there is increased resistance as well. At the same time, the P plat being high, more than 30, indicates that this patient has got a bilateral pneumonia with a COPD. Of course, we need to manage the bilateral pneumonia, and you need to manage the COPD as well here. So this session was about troubleshooting a high airway pressure alarm. Thank you.